Alright, so here we're going to look at the parts that make up the DC machine. Alright, so we have our frame, and we have our armature, and then we have the end bells. So let's first look at the actual frame of the machine and look inside here. So inside we have our field poles, which are these blocks of iron, and these are also referred to as stator poles because they're stationary. They're part of the frame. It doesn't move. And around each of the stator poles or field poles we have our windings. Okay, and there's two sets of windings around each of the field poles. So if we look closely here, we have the two sets. So you can see on the outside here we have this smaller wire, and that is our shunt field winding. And then right inside here is a thicker gauge wire, and that is our series field winding. Okay, so each field pole inside the machine has a shunt and series winding around it that come out to the leads here that we can connect to as part of our circuit. Okay, so the windings are made of copper, and each field pole in the machine has one. So this has 4 field poles. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next, we'll look at the armature. So the armature is the rotating part of the machine. So we have the shaft that runs all the way through the armature. And then mounted to the armature, we have our armature windings. So these copper wires here that run through are the armature windings, and each of the armature windings terminate to the commutator bars, which are these copper bars here that run all the way around the armature. Here we have these blocks of metal, and that's just to help increase the magnetic strength of the armature windings. And then we have the roller bearings here to help support the armature while it's in the frame. Okay, so these connect inside the end bells, and that's to help support it and keep it properly positioned inside the machine. And we also have our brushes. Our carbon brushes, which have springs that provide tension, and these brushes ride along the commutator bars as it rotates. And that's how we get our power in or power out of the machine, depending on whether we're using it as a motor or a generator. So these are carbon brushes that ride along the commutator bars. So our end bells here, that's what's placed on each side of the frame, again to help position and support the armature and keep it properly placed while it's setting inside of here. Alright, so these end bells are open, and that's just for the purpose of this being a machine for training, so we can see the inside of it. But an actual motor is going to have an enclosed end bell like this to keep the dirt, dust, grease, other things that might get inside a motor. So it wouldn't be open like this, but that's what we have for our training. Okay, so that's the parts of the DC machine.